everyone, my name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining and welcome, and if you are returning, thank you for coming back and spending some more time with me today. So I'm going to do a stitch with me today, and will be one with chat. So I've got quite a lot of comments to go through, and a couple of sort of updates and all kinds of good stuff going on. So I'm going to get cracked on. Today I'm working on a stitching shelf. Artwork is Aimee Stewart's, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I've currently done 78 stitches. I'm in a bit of a confetti area. And yeah, I'm just going to plough in and see how far we get. You might hear a bit of sort of creakiness. I don't know why, but my table, I've got a little table in front of me, sort of, just up there off shot, and for some reason today it started creaking. So as I film this, it is a gloomy Friday morning, which is a bit of a come down because I had a good night last night. I went to my slimming group and had another weigh-in, and I've lost another 4 pounds, which I'm delighted with. So I am half a pound away from losing a stone, and all being well, that's next week's task in hand. I'm already starting to feel some of the benefits from this weight loss, because my back doesn't hurt so much when I'm walking. I mean, even after the first sort of bit of weight loss, I went out filming with Andy and it was not painful at all. We had the day in Mablethorpe on Monday, which is a seaside town a couple of hours away from us, and I did quite a lot of walking and it didn't affect me. I didn't have backache at all, so I'm already starting to feel some of those good effects. And I was a good girl. I stayed away from the fish and chips. I went for a seafood platter, which was allowed on my diet, and I took fruit and yogurt with me to have on the way there for breakfast, and so there was no stop required for breakfast. Well, there wasn't for me anyway. The kids obviously wanted to stop, but and I took some chicken and tomatoes for lunch, but I did have some sort of seafood, like a seafood platter. So it's like all just plain shellfish fresh from the sea, which I could have. So I had that, and we spent some time in the amusements and went to the beach, and we had a lovely day. It was really nice. The weather was a little bit miserable. To be fair, we've not really had much of a summer this year here in the UK. So the weather was a bit miserable, but it wasn't cold, it wasn't raining, it was just overcast. And we made the best of it. We were tired when we came home though. So that was Monday, because it was a bank holiday here in the UK last Monday. So I wasn't working. And it was really, really nice to not, to be able to sort of go and have the day out, with the girls and of course Andy. So yeah. So that was Monday. So yeah, I'm starting to feel some benefits. And I've noticed as well that climbing upstairs, I'm not as out of breath as I used to be. I still get a little bit breathless depending on how quick I could go up the stairs. But generally speaking, things are improving, which I can only, be really pleased about, really. I am rediscovering some foods that I've not had for a while that I love. So a typical day for me will be some fruit and yogurt for breakfast, and then for lunch I might have for lunch generally I've been having a couple of Rivita, a couple of crisp breads with some soft cheese. Cheese triangles that I'm allowed to have. And then for tea, I've been having a meat or fish. So I might have some tuna, I might have some chicken. Sometimes I can even have things like spaghetti bolognese, that kind of thing, if I use the right sort of meat. And lots of vegetables or salad. And it does fill me up, I have to say. I do all right. Plenty of clear fluids, so water, squash, that kind of thing. So I think I found the secret of the diet. It's all the trips up and down to the loop. But yeah, it's working, and I'm happy that it is, because to be fair, I'm ready for it. I was ready to lose the weight. I was ready to get started. It was just a case of making that first step. So what else has been going on? I start with the one day in the week in the office next week, and by sort of end of October we'll be up to 3 days. And I don't mind which days I go in, if I'm honest, as long as they're consecutive. I don't sort of really want to be going in there on like a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. I prefer it to be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or whatever. Oh crikey, did well there, didn't I? So yeah, the 3 days a week will be starting sort of in October. I mean, to be fair, we've all had a good crack at working from home, so it's time to go back in. The company wants us back in, and who are we? Andy's kept himself busy. He started now going overnight 1 day a week, so he'll sort of leave here on a Tuesday afternoon and come, Tuesday after work, should I say, and then he'll come back on a Wednesday afternoon, which is fine. We can live with that. Girls are okay. Back to school next week for Lauren. I'm sure she's really excited about that. Yeah, it's life is plodding on. Just so you know as well, if you hover over the top right hand corner of this video, it'll take you to the video where I show how I start and end my threads. Show how lazy I am. Yeah, lots of confetti in this part. We don't mind though, because it all makes a finished picture, doesn't it? It all makes a finished product. It's my last chance to film because Andy's children will be here later. But I have a weekend of stitching ahead. A weekend of stitching planned. I might have to pop out a couple of times, but overtime has stopped now at work. We've caught up. So there's no overtime at the moment. And my weekend can be dedicated to my craft. I didn't do any last weekend either. With it being a bank holiday weekend and the last bank holiday until Christmas here in the UK, I did want to just enjoy my weekend and my time spent with my family. So overtime was off the menu. It's lovely and peaceful here, but next week at this time it perhaps won't be so peaceful because kids will be going into the little school round the corner and so on. So a new generation of kiddies starting their school life. I'll see them, in September, looking very tiny, trotting around the corner because it's like a first school around the corner. A little bit shy and, "Mummy, I don't want to leave you." And then by the time that sort of June and July rolls around, the mothers are like, "Can you not go so far ahead of me, please?" Because the kids have just got so confident. It is nice, though, to see. I mean, obviously, I remember when taking all of the girls to their first school. I mean, all of mine, I never had any problem with. They just, kissed me goodbye and went off, and that was that. They were all of them very confident at going into school, which I was really chuffed about, I have to say. I'm still waiting for my new glasses. I'm hoping to get a phone call that they're ready. I'm getting to the point where I could do with them. A bit of luck that'll be this weekend. So we're going to have a look at some comments. And we'll start with the ones on my last Chatty Stitch with me. And see what you guys have had to say and had to ask. Because I've had a couple of interesting questions that I've seen. Let's have a look. This first comment is from Sharon. And she's talking about my Afromov piece, saying that she loves to see it grow. And every time I see it, I think to myself, I must put a few stitches into my Afromov. And she asked, apart from Maui Princess, which other piece is closest to a finish? Well, it's tight at the moment between the Realm of Middle-earth and Envy. No, yes, Envy, because they're both nearing 30%. Realm of Middle-earth is at 29 point something percent. And Envy is at 24.08%. But because Envy's got a lot less stitches, to move up a percent on Envy is a lot quicker than moving up a percent on the Realm of Middle-earth, because Realm of Middle-earth has got 3 times the amount of stitches in. So after, as it stands at the minute, after my Princess is done, Realm of Middle-earth will then become a focus, which is no bad thing because it's a massive piece. And, you know, if we can get that one out of the way, I mean, we're over a quarter of the way through. To be fair, I haven't put 5% on in a year on Realm of Middle-earth, so I really could do with, you know, buckling down with it and putting some serious stitches in. She says, I hope Lauren picks up her stitching, although when she was 14, it's the last thing that she'd want to do. There's always distractions. Yeah, I think Lauren has now become distracted. Friends and what have you. Friends and family. Keeps her busy. Good luck with the weight loss, thank you. A lady whose Facebook friend went from a 24 to 10 in the last few years, and she eats like a horse, the right stuff. Yeah. That's the good thing about the diet that I'm on, that the right stuff, you can eat as much of it as you want. It's the wrong stuff that you have to monitor, I suppose. Enjoy the rest of the week. Have a good, relaxing weekend. I did, and I will for this one. Like I said, my plan involves needle and thread. Okay, next one. Jane says, that's so cool that Andy stitches. I wish I had people around me interested in stitching. As always, nice progress. Yeah, Andy will sort of sit and say he's a terrible stitcher and blah, blah, blah. And actually, he's better than he thinks. the piece that he did, I'm sure if you've seen my floss tube and a little bit of banter between us, you will have seen the piece by now. And it really is beautiful what he did. He did it tent stitch. The only sort of slight point I would mention is that he does stitch quite tightly. So Joe Sorensen, hi Nicola, it's been a busy summer. I'm just getting caught up. Yeah, I understand. Summer months are, a busy time. We make the best of the weather if we have it, don't we? So she's just getting caught up. I haven't made many comments lately, but tell Lauren we're looking forward to the next update. I have, but as I said, distracted with friends. She's saying that she loves the way that the colours move through my Afromov piece. And so vibrant. Stitch what you want. We love all of your projects. So yeah, the stitch what I want thing is kind of working, but I've sort of kind of naturally slotted myself back into a 2-day rotation again. Kel's Bells, great to hear Andy loves stitching too. Keep up your great work on all of your pieces. Thank you. I will certainly endeavour to. There's no hobby quite like this. Certainly for the relaxation element. She also says that she's also been in a funk and she started another project and she's enjoying it. Good. I don't often sort of get into the stitching funk, but when I do, it hits quite hard. So and I think my new start certainly helped me. Lovely seeing Lauren on FlossTube. Oh, she's put a stitching shelf on hold. I understand these stitching shelves, they can be quite confetti heavy depending on the type that you've chosen. I mean, I've got regular size here, but max colour. And if I was doing super size max colour, it'd be a lot more stitches. And it's daunting enough with this one having a lot of colour changes. So I think I made the right choice of doing regular size but max colour just to pick up that little bit more detail. Gia, or Geo, I just want to thank you for putting out so many videos. I always smile when I see you posted because I enjoy each one. Thank you very much. It's nice to know that my time and efforts are appreciated. As I said before, I know that not all of my videos are for everyone, which is why I offer the selection. So, theoretically, if you do look at my channel, there should be something for everybody, whether it be ASMR, if you like just a musical accompaniment, or if you like to hear the conversation, and of course my regular updates too. So yeah, I do like to sort of try and make sure that there's something for everyone. Missy Jensen, thanks for a lovely video again. You're very welcome, Missy. Hope you enjoy. These videos are something that I enjoy doing, and I mean, by sort of properly managing my time, I do manage to do all of them. And even though, yes, I'm going back into the office, don't worry, because I still have plans to make sure that, you know, the content level remains the same. There might be less overall stitching, because if I'm going in up to 3 days, I will potentially lose, you know, a fair bit of those days to travel, which is the worst thing, because I can spend, you know, an hour in the morning and then an hour and a half to 2 hours in an evening, dependent on traffic and public transport and all the rest of it. Mornings, getting into work, always simple, always easy. Evenings, coming home, not so much. So I've got a lovely big comment here from Clara. Just seeing you put each stitch in the Afrimov piece is mesmerising. It's mesmerising to stitch it, I have to say. I just love it because of the, I suppose because of the order and routine of it. I've always been an order and routine sort of oriented person. So it does appeal to my nature to stitch it in the way that I'm stitching it. So by doing the block parks, you know, it absolutely appeals to me. And yeah, they are 20 by 20 blocks on that piece. She says, I saw that you stitch across a 20-inch block. And then further she said, a 20 stitch block. And further she says, I saw that you travelled over 17 stitches to park your thread for a stitch on the opposite end. I'm pretty sure that's because it's not a kit. Yes, that's right. Because I have cones of thread from my kitting days, I still am conservative with my thread. I'm conservative across all my pieces, but with that Afrimov piece, because of working in the 20 by 20 blocks, I will allow myself to travel more than 10 stitches. But generally speaking, with these ones, if it's in the next 10 by 10 block, yes, I'll travel. If it's not, then I won't. Had I been working on a Gecko Rouge kit, would I have travelled that far? Probably not. I get scared of travelling beyond 6 or 7 stitches with a Gecko Rouge kit because I'm afraid of running out of floss. Yeah, I agree. When I do a full coverage, I've kitted up myself, I let myself travel further. Yeah, I'm the same. But it depends. I mean, I'm working sort of 10 by 10 squares on this piece, but because on the Afrimov piece I'm working 20 by 20, I do think it gives me that touch more leeway. Oh, and then she's got some stitching time, cut in half, oh dear. She's got an eye doctor appointment and they'll be doing the dilation of her eyes. Oh, yeah. When they put the drops in your pupils, dilated so that they can look at the back of the eye and what have you. Ugh, don't like that. My stepdad, I've seen him have it done, and we go and collect him from the hospital because obviously he can't drive after doing that, and he looks like a bit like an alien because his pupils are so bright. They really should come up with a better way of doing it. Same with mammograms. Yeah, I agree. And then she signs off by saying that she hopes my week goes well and to go and watch the other 2 Stitch with Me's. Well, I hope that you can see the Stitch with Me's with the big pupils. Okay, so Mrs. Miggins, good to hear that I'm stitching more. Congrats on another good weight loss. Look forward to seeing the new project grow. So I've got a new project, which is a Lord of the Rings piece. It's a stained glass with the members of the Fellowship, who I couldn't remember on my floss tube. But we had the 4 hobbits, so Bilbo, no, not Bilbo, Frodo, Sam, Merry and Pippin and Gollum in the top section. And then in the bottom there was Gimli, Gandalf, Legolas, Boromir and Aragorn. And yeah, it's a nice piece, and I'm having a go at colour completing. Excuse me. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know, because I might decide that it's not right for me. But because there's a lot of black, the chances are, because they're pretty much all the black is linked, and I'm doing it on gridded fabric, that I'll be good. I'll be okay. I'll be golden for doing that. Certainly with the black, I will colour complete the black, I would have thought. And Sharon then says, congratulations on the weight loss and a nice new start. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Oh, excuse me. And then again on my latest floss tube, Jane says, as always, great progress. Envy's colours really pop. Yep, I'm waiting to see what they look like with this phone camera when I do my next Stitch with Me on it and start from the top. See how those details show up. That'll be good. Let's have a drink. She also says to tell Andy his stitching is awesome. I have. And then Sharon says, well done on weight loss and loving Envy. It looks brilliant. Yeah, Envy is fast becoming a viewer favourite, I think. The colours are just gorgeous. Very nice stitching on Andy's part. Wow. Yes. Thank you, Clara. He doesn't feel the same way about it that other people do. For him, it was functional, I think. But yeah, he did a great job. And the piece that he stitched there, it was autographed by the 2 ladies that were in the picture, and then it was auctioned in aid of Mind, and I think it raised about 40 or 50 pounds, something like that. Mind is a mental health charity here in the UK. So the time he spent time stitching it, framed it, auctioned it, and then yeah, contributed to a good cause. And then she says, oops, I pushed the send button too soon. We've all done it, Clara, we've all done it. Congratulations on the weight loss. I need to lose the 10 pounds that I gained since 2020. I just can't seem to make the commitment to lose it just yet. Yeah, I've gained a little bit more than 10 pounds since 2020. So I do have a fair way to go. But you're absolutely right. There has to be a commitment there to do it. If, you know, it's either weight loss, it's a bit like, there's a scene on Karate Kid where Miyagi says to Daniel, you learn karate, yes or no? You know, that I'm paraphrasing here, that you know, if you learn it sort of guess so, maybe, you know, then it's not going to work. And it's exactly the same with weight loss. You know, with any change that you're making, you either you either need to commit to it or not. If you go into half a commitment, it'll not work because you're not ready to do it. You need to, you know, be sort of fully, you know, both feet in. You can't sort of be, you know, halfway kind of thing, if that makes sense. I might be rambling. But I'm fully committed to getting this weight off. It's funny. I said to Andy last night before I went to my weigh-in, when I come back, I'm going to have a full bag of crisps all to myself, and I don't care about the sins. And he was like, what? If you do that, you'll ruin all the good work you've done. And I'm like, no, I don't care. That's what I'm doing. What did I do? Came home, fish and vegetables, and a teeny tiny bar of chocolate that I'm allowed. Didn't have the full bag of crisps because I stayed committed. It's the same when I was away on Monday. I stayed committed. So she says, as soon as fall gets here and the sun is not so hot, hubby and I will go out and walk the neighbourhood again. Yes, walking is the best exercise. You know, and of course, you know, we can get, you know, fitness trackers and apps for our phones and things that tell us how much we've done, and it's always encouraging. So yeah, I use my tracker, but not as often as I should, because the wrist strap irritates me. I've got not an allergy, but it's like a sensitivity to anything with nickel in it, and the clasp on it I think has got nickel in it, which is giving me a bit of an issue. 3843. And sending blessings my way and looking forward to seeing more Stitchy videos. Oh, your wish is granted. So, yeah. Plenty Stitchy videos. Sherry says, love my new stock. So glad that she got the ones from Heaven and Earth Designs before it was gone. That would be Maui Princess, I'll take it. Because it has come down off the website now. I actually haven't looked at the Heaven and Earth Designs free charts lately. I might have a mooch at them in a bit and see if there's anything else on there that catches my eye. Irene says, great job on weight loss. Thank you, Irene. And all steps to bettering ourselves should be congratulated. So right. It's not easy to lose weight because in this day and age, with all kinds of temptations stuck in our face, literally all the time. You know, even like, you know, when I was at the coast, you could take 10 steps in any direction and you run into a fish and chip shop, a waffle bar, a donut bar, an ice cream parlour. You know, there's so many temptations, and of course all the smells will be pumping out, and you know, but really, you know, I'm one of those people. I've got a lot of willpower. Years ago I was a smoker and I gave up literally cold turkey. I wasn't very well. I had tonsillitis and I was so poorly with it, I ended up having to go into hospital because I got blood poisoning. And at that point, I mean, you're talking more than 20 years ago, here in the UK, hospitals had smoking rooms for patients to go in. Wards had a smoking room, each ward, or most wards had a smoking room. And I was so poorly, I couldn't leave the room I was in, never mind find the smoking room. I was so ill. So I didn't actually have a cigarette for 3 days, and then I came out of hospital and my ex-husband said, I suppose you're going to have a cigarette now. Oh, excuse me. I just looked at him and I said, I don't want one. The look on his face was priceless. Because up until then I'd been sort of a hardened, 20 a day smoker. We'd been married about 4 years at that point, 3 or 4 years. And it was very bizarre because there'd been no sign of children. And yet, this was in the December, and in the April, I discovered I was pregnant. So there's something to be said about smoking and trying for a baby, isn't there? I think. There certainly was in my case. If I'd have still been smoking, I probably wouldn't be a mother. Or it would be very difficult to be a mother. Lots of different blues in this little bit. She also goes on, Irene, to say, Envy is looking amazing. Yeah. Like I said, it's becoming that firm favourite. Thanks for sharing. And by the way, the stitching that Andy did was lovely as well. I've shared these comments with Andy as they've come in, and you know, he's like, oh shucks. But like I said, I don't think he realised just how good at stitching that he is. So Norma, so lovely to watch your progress on full coverage pieces, and congratulations on the weight loss. Thank you, Norma. Right. Katin Karuda. Katin? I think I might just call you Kat, if that's okay. Well done on losing weight. It's so hard. I'd like to make a request. In one of your next videos, could you talk about tent stitching or recommend one of your older ones to watch? I'm starting a new project and I'm afraid to get a screwed stroke uneven finish. I think I see that you use both half cross and tent stitches. Is there an advantage with that technique? So obviously, I mean, the only tent stitching piece that I have, or the only half cross stroke tent stitching piece that I have, is my Aframov piece. And I'm doing it snake method, so I'm going left to right, then right to left on the next line, and so on and so forth. It's the first piece really that I've done in half cross or tent stitch or combination, and what I've found is if you start and finish your stitch, every stitch in the same way, it doesn't warp the piece. It means that you know, it's still sort of square. What I'll do for my next floss tube video, I will get Night Cafe. I'll talk about this again, and I'll get Night Cafe out of its frame, put it on a flat surface and photograph it, and ask Andy to insert it, so then you can see that that piece hasn't warped the way I've been stitching it. It's because it's the only tent stitching piece I've got. I really don't have half cross stroke tent stitch. I don't have any experience of doing, you know, a piece sort of fully in half cross or a piece fully in tent stitch. But for my method, it's not warping, and I'm happy with that. So hope that answers your question, but like I said, when you see the piece Aframov piece fully out, I think it'll make more sense. If I've got cat hair on there, look. She's not even down, look, and she's... Home is the place where cat hair sticks to everything but the cat. She was trying to sit on this piece last night. So... Gail says, get away, lol, so me, on my last floss tube. I'm assuming that she means that, you know, having that new start and things and what have you. Reminds her of herself. At least I'm hoping that's the case, Gail. Not an awful lot in your comment there. And of course, you know, you will have seen in my floss tube that I'm no longer going to be doing the start and finish. Those start finish pieces I will be taking and working on in the office over my lunch breaks rather than taking a full coverage in. So, but it'll not be a monthly one. It'll be really an as and when. And what I'll do is I'll be taking a picture of progress, and I shall share it in my floss tube. Where does this piece connect? There. Because like we've worked out that if I have an hour's lunch break, by the time I've, you know, got sort of settled and had a bite to eat, I've got 45 minutes left. So what? Oh, hi, did you hear me mention your name? It's a cat. What? So I'll have 45 minutes of stitchy time, really, I suppose, per day. No, please don't walk on my stitching. Please don't walk on my stitching. Let me show you. Let me show you. The cat is walking on my stitching. She's a little monkey, aren't you? Look at this sweet face. Right, come on, off my stitching. Come on. Sorry for the catto interruption, folks. Down you go. Go on. She's such a monkey. She heard me mention the word cat, I'm pretty sure. Purring and drooling all over me. Thanks, cat. She's going to go on the sofa now. That'll be her out of the way. Oh dear. And Gio says again, I wanted to thank you for your content. I find your Stitch With Me's meditative, no matter what kind it is. Thank you, Gio. They're meditative to do. Good morning, Lauren. And then the last comment is from Curly Crafter. And yet again, we're talking about envy. First of all, she mentions about my last floss tube. And she says, great video. I was laughing out loud at you and Andy bantering. It's like that all the time here. We banter quite a lot. And then she says, oh, come on. Can't get this thread off. That's it. Envy is absolutely gorgeous. It's quickly becoming my favourite. So I'm sensing a theme with envy. So there's been about 5 comments saying how lovely envy is. And yeah, it's a beautiful piece. And I can see why it's becoming a favourite. And I think the colour definition as well, you know, showing up really well also, you know, helps that narrative. It is a nice piece. And that is it. That is all of my comments for this session. And there's been a lovely lot today, so thank you all so much. There is one that I can't... There was one from Sandy. I think I might have skipped it, but I shouldn't have. The comment read something along the lines of, how do I choose what... oh, here we are. Maybe Andy's right. A new start will give you a lift. How do I decide between half and full cross for the projects? And then she says, come on, Lauren, sort the stitching out. So, right. So how do I decide between half and full cross? Right. So the night cafe became a half cross piece because of the sheer size of it, because it's 1,000,000 stitches. Things like this one and Envy are full cross on 25 count because that's my preferred. if I wanted something to be a little bit bigger, I like to have a nice mix of projects of fabrics, because sometimes I need to have stuff that's a bit kinder to the eyes. So that's when the 18 count pieces come in, and those tend to be ones that are a little bit smaller, like the Lord of the Rings travel poster series. Generally speaking, I will choose 25 count 1/1 full cross, but also it depends on the piece, on its finished size, and whether or not I've got enough smaller pieces in my rotation on a big account. So I've always got a nice mix. At the minute, my new piece is on 18 count. I've got this, the Realm of Middle Earth map, Envy, Maui Princess, and on 25 count 1/1 full cross. I've got Night Cafe, 25 count 2/1 tent or half cross, and I've got She Sleeps on 25 count 2/1 full cross. So I've got a mixture of, it depends on how, I want to say awake, but that's not really the right word. How good my eyes are working on that particular day is probably better. I found that at the moment, Realm of Middle Earth, first thing in the morning, with them all being very close, oranges and golds and things, not an easy stitch. This one, however, nice mixture of colours, fairly easy stitch, but She Sleeps is even easier because the count is higher. It's being 20 count. Is it higher? Yeah, with it being 20 count. So yeah, so it's kind of it's all balance, really, more than anything. It's all about balance. Anyway, I am coming towards the end of my time, so while I'm just popping in these few stitches, I will issue our usual reminders. If you're not subscribed, do so. It's free. It should say follow, I think, rather than subscribe. The only way I ask you to support the channel is by viewing a video. There are 3 videos coming up in a moment on your end screen. If you've not seen them, please do go and take a moment to have a look. My start and ending threads video, as ever, will be linked up in the top right hand corner, so you can see how I start and end my threads and how lazy I am with it. And the next stitch with me will be an ASMR. There will then a alternative, so that's next week's program, as well as my usual floss tube update on Tuesday. So I think that's everything. As I said, if you do get a moment, please do go take a look at the other videos. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Do keep them coming in, and your questions as well. They help me enormously, and I do enjoy, answering them. So all that's left really to say is take care, happy stitching. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now, everyone.